Hi everyone, and welcome back to our special video series of Self Off the Shelf. This week, we are discussing sacredness. We are talking about allowing the energy to truly flow through this season. You know, I remember when I started diving into what I truly believed about this season. I had released and let go of a lot of the different things of what I thought it should be about, and instead invited in the sacred depths of where I wanted it to go. I remember it started off just with a seed, basically, of when my children would ask what this season was really about. And I would find myself about to say the things that I thought I should say, and it was like my mouth would seal up and I wouldn't be able to say it. And then I found myself saying the only things I could really resort to saying, it was the only thing that would actually feel like inner truth to me. And I would say it's about light. It's about the fact that here in the northern hemisphere, here in the time of winter, where everything appears dead, everything appears lost. You know, I'm from Canada. Snow. It's a lot of snow. And it's about the fact that there's a faith in the knowing that there is light. Darkest time of year, but you have the faith in the light. The faith that there is light no matter how dark things get, either dark underneath all that snow or dark in the sky. No matter how long night goes on, there is light. And this is the theme that flows through all traditions of this time of year. You look at it and everyone starts to pause about understanding the depth of light, and not even necessarily light that you see. This is a time of hope. It is a time of faith. It is a time of knowing that there's more than this physical reality, because we have faith in the fact that underneath all that snow, those seeds will be preparing. And we have faith that as of in the spring or next year, those seeds will take root and grow. And I know that some of you might be in Australia right now, or you're in the southern hemisphere and you're like, actually, we are in summer solstice. And I totally acknowledge that. And yet still it's about light. It's still about the celebration of the fact that life flows. Life flows. There is hope and knowing that life flows. Birds sing. Trees grow. You're acknowledging that light shines. I'm not going to lie and say that this hasn't been a very hard couple of years. In a lot of ways, people would say that this has been a dark time. And I think it's important at these times to actually remember that, like in that amazing book, Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch, and he talks about how a candle is always able to shine the brightest in the dark. When it shines among the sun, or when it shines among all the other candles, it gets lost in itself. But light always shines the brightest in the dark. You need the dark in order to be able to shine that light. So this time is about that as well. And I find that those broad concepts can flow through any traditions you have, or any religious affiliations that you hold, or any spiritual significance that you hold. It can be present within all of that. Now, tomorrow is winter solstice. And as I mentioned last week, over in the breathing space, we're going to be doing a ceremony. And winter solstice has always had a deep, deep resonance within me, because it is the longest night. Again, in Australia, I know it is summer solstice and it is your longest day. But there is this beautiful depth to the celebration of that length, that experience of acknowledging how things are flowing and acknowledging that sense of light and dark. So winter solstice, for my family, I won't say that I raised my children with a deep sense of this because I was only discovering it myself. So they watched me as I discovered it. But one thing we used to always do is we used to always make edible decorations and take them out and decorate trees for the animals. That was our acknowledgement of nature, the fact that life was going on, even though everything appeared like it wasn't. There's a beautiful flow of life when you take part in things like that. All right, all of that to say that this week I want you to dedicate it to inviting in sacredness, whatever that looks like for you. This is a time of inviting in the sacred presence of divinity, of spiritual creation, of light, of acknowledging the unseen and developing that faith in unseen. It's not telling you what that is, it's rather listening to what that is for you. And it can be set, again, same as that intention, setting the intention of asking and inviting in a sense of sacredness. At the first video, you'll remember that I talked about how I really had to learn what, by observing my own childhood, I observed what actually meant something for me. And I remember one day sitting in that chair looking at the Christmas tree, and I think it was Christmas evening. And I finished dinner and I sat there in this big armchair of my dad's, and I was just looking at the tree, and I was kind of bored, honestly, because quite frankly, Christmas is usually quite boring in various parts because everyone's trying to figure out what they should be doing. And so I was sitting there looking at this tree, and all of a sudden I realized that certain music was playing, and there was a fire in the fireplace, and there was a certain smell in the air. But I got more than that. There was a sense of a deep presence of something. It felt like something shifted in the air. Something became present within me, that it just felt like magic or felt like spirit. I didn't know what to call it then. It just felt so whole to me. And I remember thinking, oh, wait, this is what this is about, and I don't quite know what this is yet, but there's something in this, and I want more of this. It's about the unseen of it all and allowing that in. It can start with just a simple invitation. You can simply invite in, say, you know what, universe? I don't know what this year is about or what this time of year is about, but I invite it in. I'd like to experience the depth of that. Simply setting that request will be heard by the universe, source, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. And then you can also explore a slight sense of ritual. Light a candle. Set the tone. Put on some calming music. Put on some sacred music. Visit sacred spaces. Give yourself, set up a bonfire outside or in the fireplace. Give yourself time to put on some nice aromatherapy or incense or something that you can really savor and acknowledge this time. Set up an altar space, a space where you can sit in meditation or prayer, a ritual of inviting in the light. And even if you make it that intention, the simple intention of acknowledging life as chaos and inviting in the light to ease all. Love. Another word for it is simply love. Inviting in love. Take some time to develop that sacredness within yourself. To take that sense of presence and honor it. Honor the unseen. Honor your year that's been. And ask for the flow of that light and love to flow through your home. And then observe. Because what's beautiful and amazing and magical about that intention is that you're going to find that it flows differently. Suddenly you see things differently. Suddenly things land on your lap differently. And suddenly you have a deeper appreciation for things. Suddenly become more aware of things. Sacredness, holiness, spiritual wholeness. It's all about tapping into that deeper sense of yourself and this world we're part of. And even more than the world, the part of the universe that flows through you. So I know all of this can sound a little subtle, and you will likely find that you might get a little bit more clarity of these steps if you do go over to the Facebook group, where there'll be prompts leading you through different things. But the main focus of this week is to practice that presence from last week, and within that, invite in the sacredness of it all, to invite in the light, to acknowledge the unseen energy that is flowing through all of this. To know that, every day the earth rotates and we don't even have to think about it. Actually, every day your heart pumps and you don't have to think about it. Every day your lungs breathe. You don't have to think about it. Wiggle your fingers. You don't have to consciously think about it. So many things happen, and it's pure magic. Seeds are currently in the ground underneath the cold, cold earth. They're getting ready to burst open with life as soon as they're able, and we don't have to think about it. There is order in the universe that we don't have to think about. And that is flowing through you and around you and to you. Spark within you the ability to lean into that hope, that faith, that knowing, that pull. And a little ritual doesn't do any harm. Light a candle. Have a nice bath with candles and music. Allow yourself to shift perspective. A little word on rituals, actually. Rituals are simply a physical representation of a spiritual energy. So it is having these thoughts about spirit and going, you know what, I'm actually going to put it into my body. So when you light the candle with intention, you are lighting, your body is acknowledging the intention. When you invite in, when your intention is to invite in a spiritual connection, when you light that candle, your body, your brain, your heart, all of your whole self is flowing into that moment. So look for rituals that you feel called to. Physical representations of your stepping into faith, stepping into that light, stepping into that love and allowing it to flow for you. It's a big week ahead, and I know how busy you might be feeling. It is also a week that's flowing directly into the new year, and it always gets a little bit of a cluttery time because you can feel the busyness come and business come. And I will tell you here now, before I started celebrating holidays intentionally, you have no idea how often I got sick Boxing Day. Actually, there was a couple of years I got sick on Christmas Day because everything was so cluttered and everything was so chaotic. My spirit I was out of my body. I just collapsed. So, within this, allow the sacredness to flow. And if you need any support, feel free to message me. Also, feel free to come over to the breathing space. There's a 7-day free trial, so you can come on in, jump into the winter solstice ceremony, and you can come in and experience an energy healing. I'll be doing that on Boxing Day. You are allowed to feel that support and flow if you need it. There is great, great love for you there. And at the same time, by all means, don't hesitate to check out the Creating an Intentional New Year workshop that's on the 29th. It is fast approaching. So you can quickly book yourself in there and know that within that, you are going to feel satisfied knowing that you're setting your intention with clarity and focus as you go into the new year. You don't have to do that on your own. Just come into the workshop and we will sort you out and make sure that you are doing the simple steps to set those intentions. So that flow of spiritual energy, that acknowledgement in that faith, that deep knowing of that connection to its allness can flow right with you straight into 2022 as well. I know that you're headed into your holiday. And I want to wish you the most beautiful, beautiful holiday experience. Have a wonderful winter solstice, have a beautiful Christmas. Mostly, I wish you deep connection to your spiritual source, to the magic that's in the air, and of course, to your family, to your children. May you see through your own eyes, may you see the wonder and awe that flows through theirs, because they are picking up not just what you have offered them, rather, they tap in to the energy of the allness of it all. They sense something is in the air. So may it be filled with a sacredness and a spiritual wholeness and a magic. That's not about commercial magic, but more about something that's deeper. The same magic that flows within those seeds that are under that ground, may it flow through your home. Love and light. And I wish you love, joy, and happiness.